So this joke book for kids makes over $20,000 a month. Let's take a closer look. So in this video series that I'm doing, taking a look at some best-selling books on Amazon, it's designed just for inspirational purposes only, and also to take some learnings into your own books. So the caveat that I just want to throw out there at the beginning is if you just create books and sell them, you're likely not going to make this type of money. But it's showing you with hard work, with dedication, with using ads, what's possible if you create a best-selling book. Now, if you notice a little bit of difference with this video, apologies about that. I'm having some renovations done at the moment, so we don't have the nice purple background, and the lighting might be a little bit off and the sound might be a little bit echoey. So bear with me for this video, and hopefully we'll be back to normal for the next one. But coming on to the book that we're going to look at today. So this is a joke book for kids, and more specifically, it's a would you rather book for kids. So taking a look at it here, it's got a lovely front cover. You've got a fun little graphical element here that takes up a half of the front cover. And then the title is nice and bold, and the red and white stand out from the yellow. What's also good about this is it tells you exactly what you're getting. So it says 300 plus, hilarious, silly and challenging questions to make you laugh. So I really like the front cover. There's definitely a few little elements I'll tweak which I can come on to later when I look at how to improve this book. But overall, it's a very, very good cover. And the back itself is pretty simplistic. So it kind of tells you what you're getting, but the design on the back cover leaves a little bit to be desired. Coming back to the book though, it's got 4.7 stars out of 1,270 ratings. And you can see the majority of those are 5 stars, almost 80%, and the 1 stars and 2 stars are very minimal. So when one of your books takes off and sells really well, the thing that's going to stop it, hitting these heights is if it's not good enough quality and you start getting some 1 and 2 star reviews. And if you're looking at this as a long-term venture, on Amazon KDP as a publisher, you want to be creating high quality books so that if one of your books does take off, that you're going to get a lot more 5 and 4 star reviews. And then it's going to look a bit more like this. So then when someone's picking between your book and another book, if yours has a good high rating, there's every chance they're going to go for your book. That's going to mean organic sales in the long run, and that's exactly what we want. So this book has a lot of ratings, so it's obviously a very good seller. And coming down to the bestseller rank, it's actually #1 bestseller in children's word game books. Just taking a quick step back at the keywords that they've used in the title and subtitle, it's quite obvious the main keyword they're targeting is the would you rather book for kids. And if I search for that on Amazon, you can see here that these first 4 results are paid results, but it's #1 on the paid results. And that means it's probably spending quite a lot on advertising, but because of that, it's actually #1 ranked for that search term. So they're probably being quite aggressive with ads. So when we come on to how much this book earns, remember that it doesn't include advertising costs. But would you rather book for kids, it's ranking #1. Similarly, if we come on to joke books, you can see here, joke book for kids, it's also ranking for ads, and scrolling down, it sits here in maybe around 6th or 7th position. So what I will say about this book is even though it's a bestseller, it's spending a lot of money on ads to reach the right people. But that's because they believe in this book and they can see it's selling. So if we scroll down to the bestseller rank, we can see it's currently number 545th in books. That is an incredible rank on Amazon.com. How the bestseller ranks, if you don't know, is the lower your number, the more people are buying it. So this is a 545th bestseller in books on Amazon.com, which is fantastic. And what we can do with that sales rank is we can take it over to Bookbird and we can get an estimate amount of sales per month that this book is generating. So coming over to Bookbird, if we enter number 545 on the bestseller rank, we can see that this is getting an approximate 223 sales a day, or almost 7,000 sales per month. And what's even better about this is we can estimate how much money this book is actually bringing in. So all you do is click this add royalty calculator, you enter the amount of pages, which is 144, and the book price, which is $9.99. And you can see here, this book is making an estimated $761 in royalties every day. That equates to $22,853 in a single month. Now that is life-changing money just from one single book. I wouldn't want to guess how much this book is spending on ads. It's probably quite a lot, but you'd imagine if it's making $22,000 every month, that it's going to be making that publisher a lot of money. Now, if you wanted to make a book like this for yourself, it's actually pretty straightforward. And that's one reason why I've suggested looking at this book. So if we take a look inside, we just click this read sample button and we can have a little look inside the book. So it's a black and white book, it's 6 by 9 inches, and scrolling through you've got a little intro page, a table of contents, and a little bit about the game of Would You Rather. So in this book they have categorized the Would You Rather, but as you can see here, the illustrations are pretty straightforward. They're just quite clip arty icons that they've used. And here's an example of their Would You Rather page. So all they do is give two scenarios and say, would you rather live in a kangaroo's pocket or have a pocket on your belly to keep a tiny kangaroo in? So this book has over 300 of these Would You Rather scenarios. So all you need to do is make sure that those Would You Rather scenarios are funny, interesting, a little bit quirky, a little bit different, but also suitable for kids. I feel like anyone, especially with English as their first language, could write a book like this. Scrolling down to the A+ content, this also leaves a little bit to be desired as well. So the images here do give a good idea of what the book contains. 300 plus questions, would you rather questions. It's got a little bit of a benefit of the book. And again here, it kind of says what it does, stimulate your child's mind. So the A+ content's quite cute, but it doesn't show anything of the interior. And in my opinion, that's an area it could be improved. One other thing to mention about this is it's part of a series. There's only 2 books at the moment in there, but having a series is fantastic because if someone buys your first book and loves it, they can come back and buy the second book, and then that's a completely organic sale, which is probably what this person is trying to do. So if we come on to the second book and scroll down to the bestseller rank, this is at 96,000 in books, which again is a very good BSR. And I would guess that a lot of those sales are organic compared to the first book, which is using a lot of advertising. The description is pretty straightforward. They've definitely included the Would You Rather book for kids a lot as a keyword. So you can see here I've highlighted one here, one at the bottom. So in terms of SEO, they've included the keyword that they're trying to rank for multiple times in their description. What's interesting about this one as well is you've got a paperback for $9.99, but you've also got a hardcover option at $17.99. So the hardcover and the paperback will have their own bestseller ranks. So if we scroll down, we can see the hardcover is ranking 150,000th in books. So it's definitely not making as much money as the paperback, but it's a good option to have as well. Generally, if you've got a book that's selling well, it might be a good idea to do a hardcover version because you might just get additional sales. Now, all I want to do to finish off is take a quick look at this book and see how we could improve it. So looking at the front cover, it's not utilizing the rule of thirds here. And as a kind of basic design principle, the rule of thirds is all about cutting your book cover into 3 sections and basically having one element be in 1/3, another element be in another third, so on. Whereas this book has got pretty much a 50-50 split. I think it kind of works for this book because the title fits nicely here. But if I was going to make a book to compete with this, I might make the laughing part take up 2/3 and the title just take up 1/3. I think that would make it a little bit more visually appealing and maybe stand out a little bit more on thumbnail view. You can see here as well, if I zoom in, they've not formatted the front cover correctly. So you've got a little bit of this red bleed from the spine. So for me personally, if I saw that, I wouldn't buy the book. But I think that shows the grace you can get from Amazon customers. If they see a book, it looks cool, they see a review, they'll buy it. So, the book cover doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but it does give you a chance to compete with this book and make something even better. I think the title on the front cover looks nice. It's pretty straightforward, but it does a job. But I think one thing that you could potentially do if you created a book like this is look at targeting some different keywords in the title. So this person's obviously gone for the Would You Rather book for kids, but as we saw with a little search earlier, they're also targeting joke book for kids. And that keyword is not in their title or subtitle. So if I was improving this book, I'd include that in my subtitle. I think the A+ content could also be improved. I always like to show the interior or, it in action. So like a kid holding the book, for example, and enjoying it. And then looking inside, I think the illustrations in here are relatively straightforward. And when we scroll down to see the animals, they're really, really basic, clip art icons. It does look really, really nice, and the person that's published this has obviously put a lot of work into it, but there's no reason why you couldn't create something that looks a bit better than this. And then if you wanted to take it one step further, this is in black and white, so you could create a colour version as well. So again, apologies for the video on this one. I just wanted to create something while I was waiting for my room to be sorted, but hopefully this video is still helpful and it kind of shows you the power of Amazon KDP. I just like to create these for a little bit of inspiration, maybe give you some ideas of the types of books that you might want to create. And yeah, hopefully it was helpful, and see you in the next one.